I'm a trucker. I've been one for about 20 years now, traveling cross-country, delivering loads and soaking up the sprawling beauty of the American landscape. Never once did I experience anything that I couldn't explain, until that fateful night in Nebraska. I had a delivery that would take me through the Cornhusker State, an easy overnight haul that I'd done countless times before. I remember the radio crackling with country music as the sun set, drenching the far-off cornfields in hues of red and orange. The transition from day to night was slow, but soon enough, I was driving under a moonless sky, nothing but the stark beam from my headlights illuminating the endless road ahead. Suddenly, my CB radio squawked to life, cutting through the silence of the cab. It was another trucker, voice shaky, warning about a detour up ahead. Bridge out. I thanked him and adjusted my route, preparing to navigate through some of the smaller, less familiar country roads. I wasn't thrilled, but it was part of the job. Driving down those desolate roads, the only light came from my truck. No moon, no stars, just an eerily calm, inky darkness. Suddenly, out of nowhere, my headlights caught a flash of something metallic on the side of the road. I hit the brakes and squinted through the windshield. It was a silver Airstream trailer, parked haphazardly in a makeshift gravel pull-off. That wasn't uncommon. Lots of folks camped out on these roads. What was strange, however, was the complete lack of light or life around it. It was just sitting there, an alien object dropped into an ocean of darkness. Something felt off. But shrugging off the unease, I continued on, convincing myself that it was just a couple of campers settling in for the night. After another hour of driving, my eyes began to play tricks on me. The road seemed to shift and blur, and I knew it was time for a break. I spotted another gravel pull-off ahead and decided to rest. Pulling in, my headlights again glinted off a familiar metallic surface. It was the same silver Airstream, parked just like before. A chill ran down my spine. There was no way this was the same trailer. I must have been more tired than I thought. I quickly parked the rig and climbed into the sleeper berth, but sleep didn't come easy. I kept glancing at the Airstream, its silver shell glowing faintly under my parking lights. The stillness was unnerving, the silence so thick it felt like a presence. Finally, I must have drifted off, because the next thing I remember was waking up to a soft tap, tap, tap on the side of my cab. My eyes shot open, heart pounding. It was too rhythmic to be the wind or a branch. Somebody was out there. I carefully peered through the window, but it was pitch black outside. The tapping continued, a constant reminder of the unwelcome presence in the darkness. Gathering my courage, I decided to face it. Sliding on my boots, I grabbed my flashlight and slowly opened the cab door. The ground crunched under my weight as I descended. I flicked on the flashlight and scanned the area. The beam of light caught the side of the Airstream. It was closer now. My breath hitched as the tapping sound shifted, moving around the side of my truck. I followed the sound, my flashlight trembling in my hand. As I rounded the back of the truck, the light caught something crouched low by my rear tires. I froze. It was a woman, her back turned to me, dressed in a faded floral dress. Her long, unkempt hair fell over her face as she continued tapping on my tires. "Ma'am?" I stammered, but she didn't react. My heart pounded in my chest as I took a step forward, repeating louder, "Ma'am, you all right?" Then she stopped. The silence was suffocating. Slowly, she began to turn. I held my breath. Her face came into view, but there was nothing where her eyes should have been. Just two empty, dark sockets. I stumbled back in horror, my flashlight slipping from my hands, plunging the world into darkness. Next thing I remember, I was in my cab, my rig roaring down the road, the silver Airstream shrinking in my rearview mirror. I drove until the sun came up, my heart still pounding, the woman's face forever etched in my mind. Now, I avoid that road in Nebraska. I've never told anyone this story before, not my dispatcher, not my fellow truckers. They'd think I was crazy. I sometimes wonder if it was just a nightmare, a trick played by an overtired mind. But every time I close my eyes, I can still hear that tap, 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 and the memory of that woman with the empty eyes makes my blood run cold.